Great, another Jedi game. Let's hope they don't f it up. Good, good. Good, good. See, now you're just pissing me off. Welcome to Cynicritic. I am your sanctimonious prick of a host, Phil J. There was a lot of controversy when Respawn launched their trailer a few months back, with a mix of Star Wars fans around the world, both loving and dreading another Jedi single-player combat game. And for good reason, the last one was a catastrophe. But surprisingly, this game manages to come through. They finally got rid of that tired intro. You know. Yeah, that old chestnut. It's a few years after the Empire took over. You're a former Jedi Padawan in hiding. You're on a junk planet, only uses his Jedi abilities in dire emergency. And guess what? A dire emergency comes along and you have to save a friend, which seems rather arbitrary because moments later he's killed by some Sith Inquisitors who have come looking for you. How they know where to look after you using one ability for a few seconds is anyone's guess, but whatever. At least it gets the action started because at this point I was bored shitless. You're thrown into a race for your life on a speeding train. It's basically just a training run on how to fight. And at the end you run into the Sith again, this being the second sister. But don't worry, she's easy to defeat, and you don't run into her just once, not twice, or thrice, but 4 times throughout this whole game. Just bring whole new meaning to the word second sister. And she's simple to defeat each and every time. After this, you're saved and whisked away by your newfound friends who happen to be looking for some Jedi to recruit. They appear earlier in the little train run exercise with their ship, but don't let you jump in then. Only after you've run the gauntlet and faced the Sith are they going to bring you on board, where you're flown away to one of the 6 planets you'll have access to in the game. You'll meet your droid partner BD, who becomes very helpful throughout the game. You uncover an ancient tomb-like structure and are given your first recording of BD's former deceased master. And from there you're off to hop-skip across the galaxy from planet to planet looking for an ancient USB. You'll battle troopers, creatures, Sith troopers, bigger creatures, AT-ATs, AT-STs, a really big creature, machines, droids, bounty hunters, zombies. Yeah, I'll get to that later. Indigenous people, even Jedi. You get your first upgrade point on the first planet you visit. More and more unlocked as you progress through the story. You get to learn more about Cal as he regains more affinity with the Force. He recalls memories of his training. You're going to experience points by defeating enemies or finding Force echoes that you find scattered throughout the worlds you're going to visit. There's also health and Force power extenders, which tend to be a whole lot harder to find and to get to, which is cool because it encourages the exploration side of the game. And it gives you a bit of a break from the constant story grinding. As you progress, it's the typical finding of items to unlock certain areas, level up to unlock different abilities and attacks so you can bitch slap boss characters with your lightsaber. And as you near the end, a new character joins the team. You finally find the ancient USB. Plug it into the first tomb you found to be rewarded with a dream sequence. Okay, it's a warning from the ancient civilization. To be fair, it's pretty dark. This unlocks the tomb somehow, and now you're rewarded with a Jedi holocron, which is snatched away by that bitch Sith again. Honestly, where the fuck is she coming from?
I fear you're underestimating the sneakiness, sir.
To sum up, you're knighted, taken to a secret base that one of your team knew about all along. Your ship's made invisible by a witch with some Klingon magic. Fight some bad guys, face off against sneaky Sith sister. 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 Face off again against sneaky Sith sister. Then fight, fail, and run away from Vader. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Darth Vader makes a cameo. And when I say run, I mean
Ludicrous speed! Go!
to escape with your lives, take a moment, and destroy the holocron you spent this whole game trying to find. It's better than it sounds, and the ending clearly leaves it wide open for a sequel. But that's the basic storyline, and now it's time for our segment, The Good, the Bad, and the Stupid. The Good! Let's start with the scenery. The devs put some serious work into here and it shows. Sometimes I just found myself stopping to look around at the stunning vistas, especially those of Kashyyyk and Bracca, even Dathomir. Yes, it's the ugliest of all the planets, trust me. But then you come out of these dark, dingy nightmares to come upon scenes like these. There's some odd patches that glitch out, but otherwise, 10 out of 10. Now the gameplay. The partnering of BD to your character is a good combination that adds value. You rely on each other and build upon the buddy relationship. Buddy. BD. I see what you did there. Unlike its lame-ass predecessor, Fallen Order focuses on defense. You're not some Jedi god who can rip down Star Destroyers with the Force. Yeah. You remember that. And the force meter is limited, so you have to use tactics and timing to defeat your enemies. The worlds are littered with collectibles, though it's pretty obvious their main purpose is to slow you down while it frantically loads the area you're trying to get to. But to be honest, I was so busy scoping out my next loot box for BD to rummage through that I really didn't care. And the storyline, I mean, where's it going? Will there next be more open world instead of semi-open linear path world? Who knows, but I'm keen to find out. And the characters, they have some depth and believability to them. I want to see what happens to them next. Will Cal and Mirren become an item? Will Seer rejoin the Jedi Order, or will she fall to the dark side? Will Grease relapse into his gambling addiction? Conversations are interesting and natural, but random options that give you the option of what to say have zero impact on anything, making them completely pointless. You can just go away, make a coffee while the game's playing, and the game will auto-select an option for you and just keep going. There is a heartfelt moment toward the end when BD recalls a memory of his former master, and it, really tugs at the heartstrings. Damn you, Respawn. And yes, you can customize your lightsaber from the handle, emitter, to the trigger, and the color, to which you only have two options, blue or green. Unless you got the pre-order, or official content, and you unlocked orange. Seriously? Orange? You can also customize your clothing, your ship's appearance, even BD's appearance. And no, aside from the orange lightsaber, there is no DLC for this game, which you gotta admit is kind of disappointing. And lastly, traversal. It's not buggy, and I rarely ran into any problems. It kind of borrows from the Tomb Raider series here. The bad! The map is all the same blue color, making it a hodgepodge mix of what the fuck am I looking at? It borrows from the earlier Metroid Prime games, but somehow made it worse. There's no fast travel in this game. This is obviously to make the game last longer, but it's a bit of a drag sometimes. The game occasionally pauses still while it's loading. That's annoying. I don't recommend running anywhere because anytime you save, you'll get lost while the game is frantically trying to load the textures. Although this can be blamed on the consoles and not so much the game. I was hoping 2020 next-gen consoles solved this problem. Then there's stim healing. You have to wait for the perfect window for pressing the button that BD launches a stim, instead of throwing it out on command. And when you're in a fast-paced heat of battle, this is very frustrating. And there's no real customization in this game. Lightsabers are fine, but they should have made the dual lightsabers a mode instead of a special attack. And they should have made all skins and materials, etc. available from the very start that we can earn. So we don't have to wait around to the end of the game to get what we really want. Which is what happens here. Want a different lightsaber color to blue and green? Well, tough shit. The outfits and ponchos suck. It's just the same one with 5 different color palettes. And why the f isn't there any other styles other than poncho? Like a kick-ass Jedi night robe or something. Then there's the facial appearance. Let us customize our character. Even if we can't get to the level of Mass Effect, let us at least, I don't know, throw a scar or a tattoo on there or something. Then there's the loading times. The loading screens on this are ridiculous. Replayability is kind of low. And it's funny, we're given a whole bunch of save slots we'll never use. Cutscenes and dialogues shouldn't be mandatory. Let us skip it, especially if we're playing the game again. We don't want to have to wade through these all over again. And speaking of cutscenes, what's with the NPCs not having any facial expressions outside the cutscene? Even when talking to them, they're basically just lifeless, moving heads. Let them at least wander around a bit. I thought we were past this lowbrow basic shit. And lastly, you saw it coming, no dismemberment. Get a grip, Disney. Kids aren't playing this. Okay, they probably are. But at least let us toggle it on or off for f***'s sake. Dude, seriously? Okay, there's a lot to get through here. Lightsaber textures go weird, strange colors. All the blacks go a weird negative. But granted, this is more of a bug than something stupid. And the terrarium? Not only do we not care what it's called, it's fucking pointless. If I wanted to play a game about plants, I'd play Plants vs. Zombies. And speaking of zombies... I mean, I know Jedi use the Force, but f***ing magic? magically making a spaceship and 2 escape pods invisible. She's a walking, talking, freaking Klingon device. And zombies? Raising the fucking dead with a piece of rock melon? But hey, it's just a game, right? Fortunately, it's only a small part of the game. And then there's crawl spaces and long-ass elevators. We know they're just loading sections for the next area. Respawn, drop them, and improve your fucking game coding so it doesn't need these stupid fucking delay loading sections. Then there's respawning. Don't ask us if we want to respawn if there's no other option. Just respawn or give us the option to go to the main menu, but stop wasting our time. And lastly, talking underwater. Enough said. But overall, a well put together single player Jedi game. It far exceeds its predecessors, giving us rich worlds to explore with interesting characters and a compelling, albeit linear, and somewhat off the rails storyline. It borrows from games like Batman Arkham Asylum, Tomb Raider, and Metroid Prime, whose mechanics were effective, so Respawn aren't really trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm keen to see where they go with this, and I'm hoping for an actual open world game next time, where we can at least even choose our character, but I'm not holding my breath. So the final score is gameplay, story, fun factor, replayability. CC ranking? I'll play it again. So what do you think of Fallen Order? Comment here, I'll see you there. In the meantime, catch you on the flip side.